Hey everyone, welcome to another deep dive.
This time we're taking a look at Jim Kwik's Limitless.
Oh yeah, this one's gonna be good.
We'll be digging into all the juicy bits about accelerated learning.
And you know how to become like totally limitless with your brain power.
Definitely a lot of buzz around this one.
Yeah, and for good reason.
I mean, the endorsements alone are impressive.
Yeah, got big names like BJ Fogg.
Yeah, the Stanford behavior expert.
Right, and even Peter Diamandis.
Who's all about creating abundance and that kind of thing.
Exactly. It's
Yeah.
not just some self-help guru stuff.
No, this is reaching people who are already high achievers.
And they're saying Kwik's methods are applicable to like any field.
Which is pretty wild when you think about it.
It is. It's like he's found some universal principles.
Yeah, and I think what makes it even more compelling
Is Kwik's own personal story.
Oh yeah, he had that childhood accident, right?
Yeah, a head injury.
I left him with some serious learning challenges.
He talks about feeling like his brain was broken. Exactly. And that experience is what kind of set him on this quest
To understand how the brain works.
and to overcome his limitations.
Right, it's like that classic hero's journey.
Where the hero faces adversity and has to like dig deep.
To unlock their true potential.
And for Kwik, that journey begins with this aha moment in the diner.
Oh yeah, the waitress story.
Yeah, tell me about that one.
Okay, so picture this Kwik at a diner.
He's feeling frustrated because he's struggling to read.
And he sees this waitress taking orders.
And it's a super complicated order, right?
Like 20 things, no notepad.
No way.
And she remembers it all perfectly.
Whoa.
And that moment, it like sparked something in him.
A realization that maybe his limitations were more about perception.
Than actual ability.
So it's not that his brain was actually broken.
It was that he wasn't approaching learning in a way that worked for him.
Yeah, he had to find a new approach
Right, and this realization is what leads him down this rabbit hole.
of accelerated learning techniques.
And the power of mindset.
It's like he realized we're all capable of so much more.
Than we often give ourselves credit for.
And he busts that myth about only using 10% of our brains.
Oh, yeah, that's a good one.
Right, neuroscientists have debunked that so many times.
We use all of our brains.
The whole thing.
It's just about learning how to use it effectively.
Yeah, like optimizing our brain power.
Exactly.
So how does Kwik go from this diner epiphany?
To becoming this, like, guru of learning.
Well, he meets this mentor.
Who has a room filled with thousands of books.
Thousands.
And Kwik describes them as snakes.
Snakes.
Because at that point, reading was still a huge challenge for him.
It's a great analogy, right?
It is the thing he feared the most.
Was the key to unlocking his potential.
And he just dives into these books.
Learning everything he can about memory.
Mnemonics, speed reading.
All these ancient techniques.
Wow. So it's like he cracked the code.
And now he's sharing the secrets in Limitless.
He's giving us the cheat sheet.
But it's not just theory.
He actually puts these ideas into practice.
Oh yeah, he starts tutoring other students.
And sees some pretty remarkable results.
There's this one story that really stands out to me.
About a student who wanted to learn to speed read.
To help her sick mother.
Oh, wow.
She ends up reading 30 books in 30 days.
And her mother's cancer goes into remission.
That's incredible.
It's like something out of a movie.
It is. But it speaks to the power of what Kwik calls unlimiting yourself.
Recognizing the incredible potential we all have.
And letting go of the beliefs that are holding us back.
Exactly.
But it's not all sunshine and roses, right?
Kwik acknowledges that the digital age presents some unique challenges.
Oh yeah. He talks about the supervillains of learning.
Supervillains. Okay, now I'm intrigued.
Who are these villains and how are they messing with our brains?
Well, first you've got the digital deluge.
Digital deluge.
Which is basically information overload.
Oh yeah. I feel that one.
We're constantly bombarded with information.
Notifications, updates, news feeds.
Overwhelming.
Like how many times have you opened 15 browser tabs?
And then just felt completely paralyzed.
All the time.
Right. It's like having access to all this information.
Is it actually making me smarter? Or just more scattered?
That's a great question, and it leads us to the second supervillain.
Digital dementia.
Digital dementia. Okay, this is getting serious.
It's the idea that we're outsourcing our memories to Google.
And weakening our own recall abilities.
So our brains are getting lazy.
In a way, because we know we can just look anything up.
It's true. Like, I can't even remember phone numbers anymore.
It's all on my contacts list.
Exactly. And it's not just phone numbers.
It's directions, facts, even simple things we used to remember.
Without even trying.
Right. And then there's the third supervillain.
Digital deduction.
Okay, digital deduction. This sounds a little ominous.
It is. It's the idea that technology is doing our thinking for us.
Whoa, so like the algorithms are taking over?
In a way, they curate our news feeds.
Filter our choices, make recommendations.
It's designed to make life easier, but
Kwik argues that it's making us passive consumers of information instead of active thinkers,
Right, we're letting technology make decisions for us.
which might not align with our own values or best interests.
So it's like we're handing over control of our minds to these algorithms.
It's a slippery slope.
And it raises the question, are we becoming intellectually lazy?
That's a scary thought.
It is, but Kwik doesn't just leave us hanging.
He offers strategies for fighting back against these supervillains.
Okay, so there's hope.
Absolutely, and that's what we're going to explore next.
We'll dive into Kwik's practical tips and techniques for unlimiting yourself,
Overcoming those digital villains.
then tapping into your full potential.
Sounds like a plan.
Stay with us as we go deeper into the world of Limitless.
Oh, all right. So we tackled those digital supervillains.
Right, but Kwik doesn't stop there.
Oh no, he goes deeper.
There are more enemies to conquer.
Exactly. He says sometimes the biggest obstacle,
Is our own mindset?
yeah, our own limiting beliefs.
He uses this really cool analogy.
About a superhero facing this collapsing bridge.
Oh yeah, I remember that one.
The superhero is strong enough to save everyone.
But she almost gives up because of self-doubt.
It's like her own mind is holding her back.
Exactly, and Kwik's point is that
Our beliefs can be more powerful than our abilities.
even the negative ones,
Right, and sometimes we don't even realize.
these beliefs are holding us back.
So sneaky.
They are. So how do we uncover these sneaky beliefs?
Yeah, how do we even know what we're up against?
Well, Kwik gives us a tool for this.
He calls them ANTs.
ANTs.
Automatic negative thoughts.
I love that.
Those thoughts that just pop up.
Telling us I can't do this or I'm not good enough.
Like little gremlins in our heads.
Exactly. And it's not about ignoring them
It's about recognizing them.
and reframing them.
Right? Kwik says we all have this dominant question.
The one that plays on repeat in our minds.
Our own personal soundtrack.
And if that question is negative,
Like, why am I always so bad at this?
you're setting yourself up for failure.
It becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy.
So we can change the tune.
Exactly. Shift to a more empowering question.
Instead of, why am I so bad at this?
Ask, how can I improve?
Or what's the best way to learn this?
It's about cultivating a growth mindset.
Believing in your ability to learn and grow.
It reminds me of that quote.
Whether you think you can or you think you can't, you're right.
So true.
And Kwik tackles another big misconception.
Oh yeah, the knowledge is power thing.
Right, he says knowledge is only potential power.
It's the action that matters.
Knowledge times action equals power.
That's the equation.
So I can read all the books about fitness.
But unless I actually exercise,
that knowledge is useless.
it's the doing that creates real change.
And speaking of action,
Kwik talks about motivation and energy.
oh yeah, the HEART acronym.
Tell me more about that.
Okay, so HEART stands for
High impact, easy to act on,
aligned with your values, relevant to your purpose.
and trackable.
Like a checklist for setting meaningful goals
Goals that actually resonate with you.
and that you can actually achieve.
Right. It's not just about setting any goal.
It has to align with who you are and what you want.
Yeah. It's about understanding your own identity.
And the I am statements we tell ourselves.
If you're constantly saying, I'm terrible at math,
You're reinforcing that belief.
but if you start saying, I am capable of learning anything,
You're shifting your mindset.
it's like giving your brain a software update.
I love that analogy.
And this ties into brain energy,
Not just motivation, but having the energy to pursue those goals.
physical and mental energy,
So things like diet, exercise, sleep.
all that good stuff.
Kwik's a big advocate for sleep.
He calls it the brain's laundry cycle.
Brain laundry, that's a new one.
During sleep, our brains clear out toxins.
And consolidate memories.
So my brain is literally doing laundry while I'm sleeping.
Pretty much.
I guess I won't feel so bad about hitting snooze now.
And there's this other fascinating thing.
The Zeigarnik effect.
The Zygarde effect. Okay, I'm listening.
It's the idea that unfinished tasks create mental tension.
Oh yeah, that nagging feeling.
When you have a project hanging over your head.
Like my to-do list is a mile long.
Exactly. And Kwik suggests,
Instead of getting overwhelmed by big goals,
start with one tiny action.
just one small step.
Even something like writing one paragraph.
Or doing 5 minutes of exercise.
It creates momentum
Breaks the cycle of procrastination.
and helps us build positive habits
So it's like tricking my brain into getting started.
by making it seem less daunting.
Small steps lead to big results.
Exactly. And he shares this story about a client named Sheng.
Who has struggled with schizophrenia and depression.
Oh, wow.
And by making small changes to his routine,
Like adding a morning walk,
or reading before bed,
he was able to improve his mental health.
it's so inspiring.
It shows that even small actions can make a big difference.
It's about reclaiming that sense of agency.
Believing that we have the power to change our lives.
And that brings us to flow state.
That feeling of being totally in the zone.
Have you ever been so engrossed in something?
That time just melts away.
Oh yeah, I love that feeling.
It's like everything else fades away.
And you're completely present?
That's flow state.
I usually experience it when I'm writing.
But it can happen with any activity, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Kwik connects this to Mihaly Csikszentmihalyi,
The psychologist who studied flow.
and he gives us 5 steps for finding flow.
Like eliminating distraction,
Setting clear goals.
challenging yourself just enough.
So it's not about zoning out,
It's about being fully engaged.
right? A balance between challenge and skill,
And it requires focus.
which can be tough these days.
Yeah, with all the distractions.
The Kwik talks about focus as the foundation of flow,
And he gives us some practical tips.
like scheduling time for distractions,
Tackling that one big thing you've been avoiding.
being mindful of your environment.
So instead of fighting distractions,
We should actually schedule them in,
it sounds counterintuitive.
but it can help us focus better when we need to,
It's about taking control of our attention.
instead of letting it be hijacked by notifications.
And now let's talk about memory.
Kwik's known for his memory techniques
He emphasizes that memory is like a muscle.
that can be trained.
And he uses the acronym MOM
MOM.
for memory.
Motivation, observation, mechanics.
Break it down for me.
Motivation, we remember what matters to us.
Observation, we need to pay attention.
Eliminate distractions.
And mechanics,
The techniques.
visualization, association, storytelling.
It's amazing how much easier it is to remember.
When you engage your imagination,
Our brains are wired for stories.
we remember narratives better than isolated facts.
And this leads to thinking like a genius.
Okay, how do geniuses think differently?
Kwik introduces the 6 thinking hats.
6 thinking hats, what are those?
It's about approaching problems from different perspectives
Like wearing different hats.
to unlock creative solutions.
I need the hat rundown.
White hat for information,
Yellow for optimism,
black for critical thinking,
red for emotions,
green for creativity.
and blue for process control.
It's like a whole team of thinkers in your head.
Each hat brings a different perspective.
And Kwik connects this to multiple intelligences.
The idea that there are different types of intelligence, not just one IQ score.
Exactly. Some people excel at music,
Others at spatial reasoning.
others at interpersonal skills,
It's about understanding your strengths.
and finding strategies that work for you.
It's all about unlimiting yourself
Recognizing that genius comes in many forms.
and cultivating your own potential.
But Kwik takes it even further,
He talks about exponential thinking,
going beyond incremental progress.
looking for ways to leapfrog ahead.
It's like the difference between walking and riding a rocket ship.
Exponential thinking is about breakthrough solutions.
That can create massive change.
And it's not just for tech people.
It's a mindset for any field.
So how do we start thinking exponentially?
Kwik gives us 4 steps.
Hit me with those steps.
Identify the real problem.
Ask what-if questions
Research and gather information.
and extrapolate, play out a scenario.
So it's about thinking bigger.
Challenging the status quo.
Imagining a world beyond limits.
It's about believing anything is possible.
If we think differently and take action.
So we've covered a lot of ground with Kwik's Limitless
From those pesky digital supervillains
to the power of our own mindset.
and those practical techniques for learning and memory.
It's like a toolbox for the brain.
It is, and it's not just about personal growth.
Right. Kwik emphasizes that we have a responsibility.
To share this knowledge with others.
Like the hero returning from their journey.
To inspire others to embark on their own adventures.
So it's not enough to just unlock our own potential.
We got to help others unlock theirs.
Create a ripple effect of limitless learning.
And Kwik puts this into practice.
With the 10-day Kwik Start program.
A series of challenges and exercises.
To put all these ideas into action.
It's about getting out there and actually doing it.
Not just reading about it.
Right, it's about turning knowledge into action.
And he provides even more resources on his website.
Video tutorials, brain food recipes.
Interviews with experts.
It's like having your own personal brain coach.
And he ends the book with a powerful question.
Based on a conversation with Jim Carrey.
Oh yeah, what was that question again?
What limiting belief are you holding on to?
That might be keeping you from fully expressing yourself.
It's a deep one.
It makes you really think about those deep-seated beliefs.
The ones we often accept as truth.
Without even questioning them.
Like can't statements.
That hold us back from our dreams.
Of taking risks.
From living a truly fulfilling life.
It's a reminder that unlimiting ourselves is a journey.
A constant process of challenging assumptions
Pushing beyond our comfort zones.
and embracing lifelong learning
Because the only limits we have.
are the ones we impose on ourselves.
So true.
So as we wrap up this deep dive into Limitless,
I encourage you to ask yourself that question.
what limiting belief are you holding on to?
And what would it look like to cast it aside?
And step into a world of limitless possibilities.
Because you are capable of amazing things.
Thanks for joining us on this journey into the world of limitless learning.
We hope you've gained some valuable insights.
And that you're feeling inspired to unlock your own potential.
Keep learning, keep growing, and keep pushing those limits.
Until next time.